My name's Tom Riley and I play Leonardo da Vinci. The show is a historical fantasy based in Renaissance Florence in Italy, and it chronicles the young da Vinci's life, the kind of untold story, speculating on what happened in his 20s and 30s, and the things that he might have invented, the ideas that he might have come up with in a period that we know very little about. So we're creating an epic world in which to tell that story. The fact that there is some real darkness in his past, he's searching for his mother, he's got repressed memories that are constantly bugging him, he is addicted to opium because he thinks it clears his mind. And all these things combine to make an incredibly mercurial, dangerous character who at other times is absolutely addictive to be around, and yet if you're around him too long you can get your fingers burnt. There's stuff that his fascination with flying, he's dealt with very early on, the early flying machines, and just his complete belief that man will fly one day. He just knows it's going to happen. And he struggled with the elements in order to achieve that. And then we see elements of his diving suits, and we see very early on a mechanical dove that he's trying to make fly as part of a spectacle for Florence, and just constantly around there's genuine diagrams from his life and genuine things that we've taken directly from the pages of his work, and other things that we thought, well, there are huge scraps of his notebook missing. He was renowned, of course, for getting halfway through things and tearing it up and starting again or going over the top of things. So who knows the amount of inventions that have been lost to time. And David, of course, has said, well, what if this was also thought of, and what if this, and what if that? And we just don't know. Yeah, I'm a massive fan of David. So I've loved working with him. He knows the world inside out. He knows. I mean, he's got plans for seasons down the line should it come to that, and so he has the answers to everything, which is fantastic. Having a showrunner who knows the world inside out, and you can say, I'm doing like a weird. You want me to do a weird look? It says here. What's that? And he says, oh well, you know, potentially if we get to season 4, that's because of anything. That's incredible to have this whole adventure, this timeline mapped out of what you're going to create with the show, the boldness, the scope and ambition. And David, you know, he eats that for breakfast with his world, you know, with Dark Knight and exactly Superman. He's taken on these huge iconic heroes, and so it doesn't faze him. He's not knocked by it. He just can take everything in his stride, and having someone that confident behind the camera makes for a very easy, comfortable set with a lot of trust. There's going to be huge action sequences. Like, I mean, even the smallest ones we're trying to make as cool as possible, because how would a man who's ambidextrous and can see ahead, see like a chess game, can see ahead 5 paces, fight? He knows what's going to happen. He knows who's going to be coming for him next. It's look around a room, work out the best way out of it, and react accordingly. And so even the tiniest little action sequences, I hope, are cool. And then on a larger scale, you get the fact that Florence is constantly at risk of being destroyed and taken over by outside forces, and you know that's a huge danger, and one that's shown within the show. The entire production design is incredible. It's like unlike anything I've worked on. I mean, it's movie level ambition, and that's actually really incredibly useful when you're trying to create a world, when you can look around the corner and see that what would be there is there, and the costumes for, you know, right down to the supporting artists are so, I hesitate to say historically accurate, because we're creating a fantastical world, but certainly of our world. And the costume, I mean, this leather jacket is made to me and made to my specifications, and is just kind of it gives the impression of not having tried too hard, which is of course what he wouldn't have done. He would have got out, rolled out of bed, put it on, gone out and solved some crimes. But yeah, I love the costume, and the girls' clothes are amazing. I mean, like couture, high fashion, especially in the higher levels of the Medici. Yeah, some beautiful stuff.